Hi guys, Gregory Doyle here, Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat. Fight I want to talk to you guys about just now is the upcoming lightweight fight this Saturday night, the 26th of October on the O2 Josh Taylor Regis Prograis card. It's a fight between Ricky Burns, who is former 3-weight world champion, 43, 7 and 1. And he takes on former featherweight world champion Lee Selby, who is 27 and 2. Yeah, again guys, I've taken on two very difficult fights to talk to you about this week and call a winner out on. This one's no different. I don't think the bookmakers can split these guys much. I think they've got Lee Selby at 4-6 and they've got Ricky Burns at 65 at 11-8. That's almost about as close as it gets. I think it's potentially the best fight Saturday night. I know a lot of people are talking about how good a fight Prograis and Taylor is going to be, but I think this is the great fight, a good old British derby. Most of the time they never ever disappoint. So I'll get into it and talk to you guys about it a little bit just now. Start off with Lee Selby. Lee Selby, as we know, as I say, he's 27 and 2. Former world featherweight champion, coming off that tough split decision loss. I think that's something we need to remember. It was a split decision loss to Josh Warrington. It wasn't that he was weight drained and he lost comfortable. It was a relatively close fight. I remember watching it live and I was quite shocked. I thought Selby would win. I knew Selby was struggling at the weight, but he's a very, very silky fighter, Lee Selby, especially up until that fight he was anyway. And I think he trains quite hard, throws a lot of shots, etc. He was killing himself to make 9 stone, which is fair. But I've always been impressed with Lee Selby. His performance the night that he won the IBF featherweight champion, I'm trying to remember the guy's name that he fought, Evgeny Gradovich, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was fantastic that night. That was supposed to be a hard fight that Selby was just favourite in, and he totally schooled Gradovich. I think he's a great fighter to watch, Selby, especially up until the Warrington performance. And then, this is something we need to remember, he's only had one fight in roughly 18 months, and that was Amar Douglas in his last fight. I didn't think he looked that great. He did win on points. It was relatively comfortable with Douglas coming on at certain points in the fight strong, but he didn't have that same rhythm, should we say, to his work. But on his day, he's a very, very good fighter, Lee. Fast hands, great feet movement, relatively fit fighter. Just all round very, very good. If we could say one thing that Lee probably doesn't have a lot of, and you could probably say for both guys in this fight, is maybe a little bit of power lacking, but I think there's enough power there for both guys to respect. I think that's very, very different. A lot of people don't understand that. Just because a guy doesn't have an 80 or 90% knockout ratio, it doesn't mean that they don't punch hard. It just means that they might not be a concussive puncher. But that's Lee Selby, very good fighter, and I'll be interested to see him on Saturday night. He comes up against my countryman, Ricky Burns, who everyone who knows me, I'll try and not be biased here, but I'm a big fan of Ricky Burns. Got on really well with him, been to quite a few of his world title fights. Ricky's, he doesn't really need or shouldn't need any introduction in Britain, should he? Former 3-weight world champion, fought a lot of really good fighters. Had that tough loss to Anthony Crawler that really could have went either way. He's been chasing the rematch ever since, but so no, that'll probably never happen now with Crawler approaching his last fight. But Ricky's just a fantastic fighter, fantastic engine. Great jab, very underrated in terms of his abilities. He's very, very fit, very fit. If you speak to any of the boys down in his gym, they'll tell you that even your up-and-comers coming through, her early 20s, etc., Ricky at 36, he's still fitter than a lot of them. He's still beating them in the sprints and the runs, etc. So fitness has never been a problem for Ricky. It's his biggest attribute for me is his fitness, his heart. Nobody's ever stopped Ricky, and he's fought some serious guys like Terence Crawford, Michael Kitsidis. He's fought quite a few good fighters and he's never been stopped. Just what a fantastic fighter. He has had his tough losses and he's came back from them. Some disappointing performances, but like every fighter, just bounces back, and he seems like he's been around forever now. And this is his 52nd fight on Saturday, which is remarkable. On to prediction time. This one's a really tough one, I've got to be honest with you, I don't want to see either guy lose. I want to see both of them coming again and winning world titles again. But I can understand why the fight's been made. It's a bit of a crossroads fight. I don't think it's the end for either, but it's difficult to come back if for the loser on Saturday. I really think it's about who's up for it more on Saturday, because this fight, both of them have got attributes to beat each other. See, if Ricky Burns isn't on his best game, Lee Selby could dance rings round him, out-jab him, just outsmart him. If Ricky Burns is on his game and Lee Selby's not, Ricky Burns could outwork him, put pressure on him, etc. and just make it a really uncomfortable night's work. But if I was forced to go on a prediction, I would probably say Ricky Burns to win. It's difficult to see him stopping Selby. It could come in the second half of the fight if he works Selby hard enough, but I see it being a close run fight that he might just win in points, Ricky. I think, as I say, both fighters are more than capable of beating each other, but I just think Ricky might have a wee bit too much for him still, and it's a move up to lightweight. Ricky will be the bigger man, etc. But I think it'll be a fascinating fight while it lasts. So my prediction is for Ricky Burns to potentially stop Lee Selby in the second half of the fight, but more than likely to go to points and win on a points decision. My name's Gregory Doyle. I write for Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, check our Instagram out, also check out our website. Thank you.